October 6th, 2017. Welcome to the Philly podcast. Now, today, I took a yesterday off. I couldn't do Thursday. No, I couldn't do Wednesday. Um, but, I forgot to get to a couple things. Thursday Night Football. I forgot to make my pick. Since I didn't do a podcast yesterday, I'm gonna, just kind of recap what happened. Um, what's going on with my audio here? Okay, all right, let's go. So last night, New England beat Bay. Winston did not play a good game. He did not play a good game, but he did. Have that one touchdown pass to Bright. I watched the first couple minutes before heading over to the playoff game between the Yankees and the Indians, and Winston, he just wasn't in sync. He did get me 25 points in fantasy, but he just wasn't. He wasn't. It wasn't good. It wasn't good compared to what he's done. But you did. But New England was blitzing. They were bringing the blitz. It was the old Belichick. It looked like Belichick was pulled that card, pulled the blitz card out, and kaboom! Look what happened. New England, on the other hand, they just looked and, Brady did not. The quarterbacks did not play a good game last night. The quarterbacks did not play a good game. But, Patriots, they ended up getting the wing. They didn't have Gronk out, so they didn't have Gronk out there. They had to rely on Hogan and Amendola to help them out. But, that's what they did, and, look what happened. They ended up winning the football game. So, yeah. We'll get to the picks later, college and pro. Right now, I know I said it in the title, but TNF Flyers. But with TNF, I forgot to put Eagles as we move forward to a football Sunday for the Eagles as they take on Arizona this week down at the Link. Fletcher Cox has officially been ruled out. So we won't be with him this week. But a couple things on the a couple other things on the injury front. There could be a possibility we will have Darby available by week 7, which is the Redskins Monday night game. And I really think, I said this before. I think I said this before, that we will have him by then. Because it's a Monday night game. It gives an extra day. I guess, I don't know, but we will have him for that Monday night game against the Redskins, which is a big game. That's probably one of the biggest games that will play. I think this is the game where the Eagles kind of have to take advantage of, because this game this Sunday we have to win, because we created some breathing room. God, we hope that the Cowboys lose. We hope that the Redskins and the Giants, they're playing LA. But I think the Cowboys have a tough game. Who do the Redskins play? Redskins, they play San Fran, so they're going to win that game. Oh, no, they're on the bye. My bad. They're on the bye. I totally forgot about that. But next week they play San Fran, so they have to win this week. This is like a must-win game. Then you get to the Thursday night game against Carolina. It's going to be a tough game because Cam Newton's been playing pretty well. They went into Foxborough and they beat them. They beat the Patriots, and that's always a big win. And I know we saw that earlier this season again with the Chiefs, but the Chiefs are 4-0, and and it's still a big feat if you go into Foxborough and you win against that coach and that quarterback. So so it's not like it's easy now, because two teams have done it. It's still pretty hard. Um, yeah, so that's going to be a tough game. But the Eagles have to win. They have to win this week. They have to win. Arizona, I see nothing in the Cardinals. I see nothing in the Cardinals, and I do think the Eagles will win because that's a team. That's a team. Their two wins were against bad teams in overtime. The Colts and the 49ers in overtime. In overtime. Both those wins. Jacoby Brissett, the first play in overtime, Jacoby Brissett throws a pick when they play the Colts in Lucas Oil. And then, they set up a field goal, and there goes the kick, and the Cardinals win. Then fast forward a couple weeks later, they play the 49ers and at home, and they get into overtime, and they win. Carson Palmer throws a touchdown pass to Larry Fitz, and they win. So their losses were against, who did they lose to? I think they lost to Dallas, and then they lost to Dallas was at home. And they lost to Detroit. So, that's I mean that they lost, that I mean that's just they are just bad. They're just a bad football team. They're 2-2, but yeah, Chris, they did almost lose to the 49ers. Yeah, I mean, they are just the fact that you take the 49ers in overtime, I mean, that's just brutal. That's brutal. And the Colts. I feel like the Colts have never had, like, once their quarterback gets hurt, they just lose, like, big time. Because you remember with Peyton Manning when he got hurt, that whole 2011 season, they only won like two games. And then, this year when you see what, I mean, they're just not doing well. They're not doing well at all. They do have the weapons. I mean, like, look, they have T.Y. Hilton, they have Moncrief, they have a bunch of guys, Doyle. So they could probably, they could be a good team, but it all starts with the quarterback position. So I know cool why I'm watching the Penn State football story. Is that how they play and peak programming on CSN? Oh wait, you can't call it CSN anymore. It's NBCSN Philly. Great. Seriously. So that's the Eagles have to, I mean, this is a must win, and you're coming home and you're gonna play that team. And people are calling the Giants Chargers game now. Okay, they're both 0-4 teams. Calling that game. It somewhat is the shit bowl, but the Chargers should be a 2-2 football team. They should just be a 2-2 football team. Kicker fucked them twice. They should be a 2-2 team. They're good enough to be a 2-2 team. They're good enough to be a 4-0 team, maybe a 3-1. The only game they didn't have was Kansas City. They could have won. They could have won 3 games. I think the Giants are just, the first 2 games are bad. The second 2 they played good. I mean, this game, in my opinion, this game's up for grabs. I think it's gonna be a good football game. I don't think it's gonna be a shit. I mean, the records say it's a shit bowl, but we look at the weapons both these two teams have. It's not really. Tell you what, I mean, if I could, I mean, if they were able to flex, if I were in, like the guy that's in charge of this, if I were able to flex that game to Monday night, I probably would, because that would be a good football game. That would be a good football game for Monday night. Just watching a nice, good football game. So, and then the Cowboys play at home against um, the Packers. I don't like the Cowboys in that game. I really don't. So, we'll get to the picks later. Flyers. We're 2 games in. We're 1-1. Um, didn't watch. I didn't watch both games. I didn't really watch any of both games, because they're late night. I thought I went through this before. They're late night. It's just a bunch of it's shit. I might watch them tomorrow night. Tomorrow night might be my Flyers debut. But I did see the highlights for both games. Jonathan Quick is just a good goalie. He is just a very good goalie. I think we have something in Jake Elliott, no, not Jake Elliott. I think we do see something in the goalie Elliott, Brian Elliott, I think his name is. Um, so, but I mean, I know he didn't play last night. I know he played Wednesday night, and he played a pretty good game. So, I think that's the one thing that the Flyers have had a very big consistency with, is their goalies. Look how good their goalies was. You look at 22 years ago, Neuwirth was better than Mason last year. Neuwirth wasn't that good. And then you get to this year, which Elliott, and they bring in that guy Elliott. They get rid of Mason, and we'll see what happens. So, plus, yes, Stolar is still on the team. I don't know. I'm not a hockey guy. So they will play. Did they play? Who did they play tomorrow? Okay, so tomorrow's Anaheim. So yeah, we better win this game. Should win this game. I don't know. So that's my little spiel on the Flyers, and then we're gonna move into MLB playoffs. Yankees are down no games to 1. Cleveland beat them. They actually played an hour, I think. I think there's a game in progress. Let's see, is there a game in progress? And how about Altuve just raking? He's hitting a bunch of, Oh, and speaking of the Houston Astros, they are up 4-1 over the Red Sox. So, in a matter of probably 24 hours, a little bit more than 24 hours, the Red Sox could be on their way to sending the Astros could be on their way to sending the Red Sox in a deep hole. And then tonight is Yankees Indians game 2. So yeah. Houston they just look good. I mean, you look at Altuve, what he's done. I mean, that's just crazy, with 3 home runs and all that. Is that game on? Is that game on a network? Hold on, let me see. It's on right now. Okay, it's on FS1. Keuchel is pitching. It's the top of the 6th. 1 out. 4-1 Astros. So, yeah, and then tonight at 5:08, it is the Indians Yankees. Who's pitching in that game? I don't know. Judge struck out 4 times last night, and then Sonny Gray denied. He didn't go very long. And then tonight, you got the 2 other. There's a couple more games. It's the Cubs Nats and the Diamondbacks Dodgers. So we'll see where that goes. The Cubs game is at 7:30. The Diamondbacks game is at 10:30. So I don't think I'm staying up that late for that. So we'll see where that goes. As the baseball playoffs as the divisional series are beginning for the playoff for the MLB, and yeah, so kaboom. And then now it's pick time. NFL picks. Now we'll do the college football top 25. Now, last night there was a college football game that was between NC State, who entered the top 25, and Louisville, and NC State came out and won, beat the Heisman winner Lamar Jackson. NC State's a very good team. They're a pretty good team this year. I know they beat Florida State. Florida State, they've just been shit without their quarterback, but it is what it is. So we're one game in. Georgia, they got a big commit today. They got that quarterback to commit to them. So they're just loading up with recruits. Kirby Smart's doing a good job, and they find themselves in the top 5 final this week, and they will play another SEC game against Vandy, and that's we can say that the Georgia win that game. Georgia wins that game. I can't talk. Oklahoma, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Clemson, Wake Forest, Clemson. Penn State, Northwestern, that's all Lions. Mississippi, Auburn, Miami, FSU, that's Miami. They'll finally take care of the Seminoles. West Virginia, TCU's going to win that game. Florida, LSU, that's all Florida. UNC. Now, Notre Dame might be without the quarterback Brandon Wimbush. Or should I refer to as we might be without our quarterback Brandon Wimbush, but I don't really think that really matters. UNC sucks, so we'll beat the Tar Heels. USC, Oregon State. I got the Trojans. Maryland, Ohio State. I got the Bucks. Virginia Tech against Boston College. I got the Hokies. Alabama, Texas A&M. I got Bama. Washington State coming off the big win against Oregon. I got the what are they? I don't know. Washington State, I'll just say. UCF, Cincinnati. I'll pick the upset Cincinnati just to make things interesting. Nebraska against Wisconsin. I'm going to pick the upset here. I'm going to get Nebraska. California, Washington. I got the Huskies. Utah against Stanford. I got Utah. And then San Diego State against UNLV. I got San Diego State. Now, the big game tomorrow is Michigan State against Michigan at Michigan Stadium on Saturday. I hate this team so much. I hate them. I hate Michigan. You guys know my hatred for this team. Michigan's coming off the bye, and it's the first game that O'Korn will start. I think O'Korn's starting, so he'll get this start. Michigan State's coming off a win against Iowa last week. Time the Spartans went into Michigan Stadium. The game winner, the punt return touchdown. No. Will it happen again? I don't know. But I see the Wolverines. No bias. I see them going down in this stage. I think they might. The working might come to play. LJ Scott might come to run. Boom. Down goes the Wolverines. NFL picks for the week. We are one game in, obviously, last night. 40. Here's a shit bowl. 49ers Colts. I got Indy. Jaguars Steelers. I got Pittsburgh. Bills Bengals. I got Titans Dolphins. I got Titans defense just shit the bed last week. Ravens, Raiders off losses. I got Baltimore, Green. We'll see that. Vikings against Chicago. No, that's Monday. We'll pick the Monday night game. Chicago got Minnesota. I think Trubisky will play a pretty good game though. Chiefs, Texans. That's a Sunday night game. Chiefs. Seahawks, Rams, Seattle, Panthers, Lions. I'll pick Carolina, playing good. There's another shit bowl. Jets, Browns. I got the Jets, and we are left with the divisional games, with the Giants and the Chargers, Eagles and Cardinals, and Packers and Cowboys. We'll pick the Packer game. It will be Dallas. LA will beat New York, and I got the Eagles winning this week, so that's always nice to see. So, yep. All right, so thanks for tuning in. I know we've had a series of quick podcasts this week. I mean, just stuff's gotten in the way. Hopefully next week we'll get some length into these as we go forward. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys later.